Good morning, everyone. Hi. My name is Menachem Creditor. I serve as scholar in residence for UJ Federation of New York. And we come to you live Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern, with some love, some Torah, some music, and some community. And it's good to be together again. This is our 81st broadcast for those who are counting. And it is a distinct honor and pleasure to see how this broadcast has grown and how we come together. We come to expect each other. Penny and Stephen, Anna, Barbara, and Stephen and Dale. I mean, this is really, we know that we'll see each other in the morning, and that itself is an incredible gift. Good morning to Kim. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Judy. So, why don't we jump in with a bracha, blessing. I shared the link on YouTube to this blessing. Hopefully, if you'd like to review it and learn the words, but just to remind you, it ends with the words la'asok b'divrei Torah, to be busy with words of Torah. And I've always believed that Jewish learning is not about memorizing anything. It's about la'asok, it's about to be busy with Torah. And I recently was reminded by a teacher of a quote by Maya Angelou who said, "People won't remember what you taught them, but they will remember how they felt when you taught them." And I think that's actually a good description of Jewish learning too, to recognize that how we feel is itself the worth of the learning we do. And I have to tell you, I feel inspired just to see each other, to see that you're here. So Barry, Julie, Stacy, it's good to see you. And Donna, does everyone know each other from pre-COVID? There are a few people who might know each other. I know a good number of us. But by the end of our sessions, I've looked once in a while, there usually are about 400 views. And at the moment, there are 60 of us here. So that means people come and go. But then by the time the next morning comes, on average, 1,200 people have seen, which means that you can't know everyone who you're encountering. And that might be some of the gift here. We're making new friends, and please God, we should surpass Facebook's understanding of friend and actually become friends. So it's a good question. It's an important question. And I think ultimately our goal is to have the answer be yes. Yes, we know everyone who is tuning in for this. Yes, we are connected in each other's lives. So, Boker Tov, everyone. Charlie, thanks for introducing some Hebrew to our morning. Yvette, no accident. We found each other. Let's start with a bracha for learning. Here we go. Everybody, Blair, amen. Thankful to be alive. Me too. And Donna, here with you. Totally with you. It's good to be able to share all the things that we do. And here's what I want to do. We, over the week, have looked at the two Torah portions that end the book of Bamidbar and the book of Numbers. Those are the ones that we read this coming Shabbat. They're called Mattot and Masei. And we've looked at different spectacular parts of it, but there's actually another way of looking at any Torah portion, which is, what isn't there that I think should have been? What would we have expected? So let's remember that Mattot and Masei include a list of all the stops that the Israelites made, all the stops that we made between Egypt and the Promised Land, because we're about to enter Eretz Yisrael. The end of the book of Numbers has us at the lip of the land, and the book of Deuteronomy, Dvarim, that we're going to read, actually is Moshe retelling the story. So really, we've accomplished everything we set out to do in terms of geography over the course of the 40 years, and those 40 years end on the steppes of Moab, right where we will be this coming Shabbat morning. So here's a question that you could ask. Number one, does anyone remember? I'm going to give you a second to actually answer this. How many stops did we make during the desert? It's a trivia question, and the clue that I'll give you is the one that I gave you a few days ago, which is, if you like Douglas Adams' The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, or Thanks for All the Fish, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, you know the answer. How many stops along the way? There you go. Oh my God, we actually listened. There we go. Arlene, Rose, Jerry, Donna, Linda, Cheryl, Barbara, Anna. Holy cow, Shirley. I'm telling you, I never thought anyone was going to remember that number. Robin, you get it. Susan, you get it. Everybody, you all get points. I can't believe. The answer is 42. But you all knew it. You remembered. Okay, I guess I should be careful what I say. I guess people listen. That's so funny. Well, mazel tov to everybody that you remembered it's 42. Now we won't forget it. Wow. All right, Felice, you get points too. Susan, Cynthia, you all, Mark, you all get the points. Penny, I'm so proud of you. All right. Here's the thing that if you look closely, you'll realize. The 42 stops include, from there to here, everywhere we've been. But there's actually one thing missing. There's one stop that you definitely would have expected to see on the journey, listed again in Mattot Masei. And actually, it's the most spectacular thing, I think, that we experienced during those 40 years, and the most spectacular thing, by one measure of appraisal, that ever happened to the Jewish people. Sinai. Sinai isn't listed. Sinai is not listed. Can you imagine listing a travelogue? We went here, we went there, and leaving out Sinai. What an incredible thing to leave out. Why? Why, if you're telling the story, would you leave out Sinai? Now, what's really... Oh, Judy, the answer, what you can do with rabbi points, you can trade rabbi points in for more rabbi points. That's what I always tell my kids. Leaving Sinai out is a very, very strange thing. So I'll just give you a suggestion that I heard some time ago from my teacher, Rabbi Bradley Shavit Artson, which is that by leaving Sinai out, but including so many encounters with God, the Torah perhaps made an important decision, which is to teach us to recognize the miraculous without the miracle. Meaning Sinai somehow became so embedded in our journey, so embodied, that we didn't need to hear about Sinai again to still carry that in us. But we did need to recognize the miracle of the everyday. If you've read Mary Oliver, if you've read good poets, the power of a poetic heart to see the miraculous in the everyday. I'll tell you a story that I love very much. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, civil rights leader, Hasidic, Rebbe, social justice activist, teacher at JTS, where I went, where my father went, where my sister went, teacher there for 50 years, 40 years. Was a great, great mind, and people know spectacular things about him. But what you might not know is that he was once introduced to give a speech, and It was maybe the height of his career, author of so many books. They read his biography as an introduction, and he comes forward and he leans into the microphone by the lectern, and the place is full, and he says, "My friends, on the way into the speech today, I witnessed a miracle." And everybody leans in. Oh, this great human being is going to tell us the most miraculous thing we've ever heard. And he looks at everyone and he says, "On the way in today, I saw a flower." So just let that in. When's the last time you looked at a blade of grass and called it a miracle? When's the last time you looked at the mirror and recognized that you are a miracle? When's the last time you looked up at the sky and wept because it's there? Yes, all of the things that are in our hearts and our minds, it's all true. I don't dismiss it. I don't ignore it. But what Heschel called us to have was something he called radical amazement. Something that makes you pause. Something that makes it harder to breathe because it's spectacular. I see that in my children. I see that when I remember to, in the sky. And when I'm really aware, it's not arrogance to be so grateful that I exist. It is certainly true that I'm grateful that you exist. So what I'd like us to do today is look for a miracle, and if we're really aware, we won't have to look very hard. You're right there. What a miracle. We get to share this. What a miracle. There's a sky outside. What a miracle. So I want to bless us with open eyes so that when we talk about the journey we've been on, 42 stops or more for sure. Yes, there are spectacular things we could share, but the everyday is pretty spectacular. So let it be a spectacular day. Let's sing our way right into it. Have a beautiful day, everybody. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.